He's trying to find the email. They're shouting from across the hallway as he looks.
Oh, okay.
I had the same problem.
I will help him with that while you start the meeting.
Okay.
All right.
It is, hold on, where's my clock? It's 7, or nope, it's not 7. It's 6:16. And today is Wednesday, the 23rd day of June. And this is a meeting of the Village Finance Committee. Committee members, Mr. Wyville and Mr. Newell are present. Present from the administration is Mr. Bloom and Mr. Jameson, and Mayor Tomko will be joining us as soon as his email reveals itself. Since we are missing the mayor, we're going to go slightly out of order and talk about the 2022 county budget, because that's less exciting than the year-to-date financials, which I know the mayor loves to talk about. So let's talk about my favorite type of legislation. Give us our tax money legislation.
Which one do you want to start with? Go
We're
ahead.
starting with the county budget. I'm going out of order.
That one, no problem. Okay, just refresh your memory. This is something we do every year. It's a county requirement or a state requirement. And again, I know you've all been on council for a while. This is not a real budget, even though they call it that. It is important to the county for one reason. They use it to set the property tax rate for the village later in the year. And for that, they use, it'd be the last one, Christy, all the way down. Keep going. There we go. And on page 2, they use the information that we give them to confirm that we want to levy the millage shown there. The column 8, I guess, 8.3 mils. They use this information to confirm that and then send us out legislation to be approved. The rest of it is all just kind of miscellaneous information.
Yeah.
Really,
Well, I have a question.
sure.
This levy isn't up for renewal this year, is it?
No, not till
Next year?
2024.
Oh, all right. You scared me. I thought we're talking about a
No.
renewal.
No, we just have one voted levy. It will run through 2024.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So we're good. Good for a while. But again, the county will confirm that the information in column 8 lines up with what they have. And they do a couple other things and they set the rate at what it is here. It's very simple.
Yeah, I always enjoy looking at this. It's nice to see how little, I mean, it's always eye-opening to see how little property tax dollars come to the village
Very little.
in terms of
Right.
our overall tax bill.
Yeah.
It's very
I think
modest.
The problem is, Aaron, that 90% of the residents think all their property taxes are going to the village.
Right. And now all of our YouTube fans are now aware that no, it goes to the schools.
8% comes to the village.
Something like 8%.
Yep,
Fiscal responsibility over here.
that is right.
Okay. So I would motion to recommend this to council. That's
Second.
yeah, okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that was a nail biter. I was very worried
Great,
about that.
thank you. This will be on the agenda for June 28th. We'll have it on there for you. If you have
We
any
will take
questions on it, give me a call before then.
Cool.
All right,
Okay, now year-to-date financials.
you want to move on? Okay.
Okay.
Why don't we
For
go
some
to
reason I
the,
couldn't log on, so I'm sitting here behind Aaron.
Christie, why don't we go to the revenue analysis one, the large one?
He's photobombing.
There we go. Just in summary, everything on this sheet looks really good. I don't see any negatives at all, other than parking. The income tax especially is coming in very strongly.
Yeah,
If you you have to look at it two ways. We're 40% ahead of where we were a year ago through June,
well,
which is amazing. But we are 3% ahead of where we were at this point in 2019,
which is I think that's a better metric.
which is actually not too bad. That's pretty good. We usually budget, when we put our budget together every year, we usually budget a 1%, 2%, or 3% increase.
Okay.
So if you compare it to 2019 again, we're 3% ahead.
Better jobs for residents, it would appear, huh?
Mhm. And the other complication, which we probably won't be able to see a little better till July, is that I sent the memo out, how well our subpoena program did
Mhm.
in
Oh, yeah.
collecting delinquencies. And the woman I talked to, Rita, couldn't confirm, they can't tell yet if all of that was shown as a collection in June for us. There may be some that doesn't show up on our sheet until July.
Okay.
So when you look at the really great number for June, I'm not sure if that all of the delinquency collections in there or if a little more will come in July. You know what I mean? So comparing year over year is a little tough right now. You have to wait another maybe a month or two.
Right.
When did they wait? When did the I'm sorry, I can't speak. When did the tax filing deadline get moved to?
May 17th, I think.
Okay. I mean, I filed mine at my normal time, so
Yeah.
I didn't really pay attention.
It's usually April. They moved it to May.
Okay.
Yeah, May 17th. And last year was July 15th.
Okay. So financially, as we start to build next year's budget, we're optimistic with where our footing will be going into that process based on these numbers.
I would say so. Yes,
I
definitely.
would agree with that.
We're looking very good.
Okay, because I'm going to bring some stuff. I'd like to bring a suggestion to council about giving some municipal support to the fire department renovation. I understand that some of the big donors would like to see the municipalities participate with some sort of skin in the game, if you will. And so I've had a couple rough conversations with Dan Fritz and the mayor of Moreland Hills. We've tentatively reached out to the mayors of the fire department communities, and I think it might be well received by everybody. So I wanted to start bringing it to the council level to make sure that, we really did have good buy-in, so we could, give them some help and get some dormitories and renovate the police station. Because these are big priorities that have been sitting out there for a while.
Yeah, I told Aaron that that's something that, we could certainly look at and study. The problem is overall the cost of construction, is just currently still obscene. So the question was when we would actually go to bid, but effectively we could easily do that because a lot of the costs, keep in mind, are related to moving walls to support a second floor for the fire station. So really what the line, it's not a bright line dividing the police station from the fire station. It's somewhat of a judgment call on a lot of the big issues. So I've got no problem in looking at this and making a contribution.
Awesome. Darren, Jim, are you guys okay with that concept?
Yeah, I have some questions. The printout, this write-up you gave helps. And you break down each contribution by each community by...
Jim has a copy of a draft concept that was floated to some of the mayors.
Oh, okay. So my question to you is, do you have any feel for how many of the communities will contribute? And is this kind of a non-deal if a couple of them bail and a few of them commit?
Yeah. Yeah, conceptually, we would give a contribution equal to 1 year's EMS billing. So, EMS billing is sort of proportional based on use. And it's the dollars that come back to us after we send bills to people who use EMS services. So it's the best proportional way we could think of. And the thought would be that we would put a clause in there. So we pass an ordinance early fall, and we put a clause in that if we didn't have full municipal buy-in, people could back out. We would ask one community to hold the money in escrow until a bid was accepted by Sugar Valley Fire. Just trying to make people feel comfortable, because I know there's long histories here, but we also want to make sure the fire station does get completed, because lumber prices are coming down, and as there's capacity in the market, I think we need to be ready to move.
Yeah, and whatever it costs, it costs. So we kind of have to do this project.
Well, and the other thing is that we're going to pay one way or the other. And so with our contract cycle cost, I personally would rather see us make a free will contribution than look at increased contract costs over the next 3, 5, 8 years as they try to solve this problem.
Good. And the other question I have, I'm kind of confused about all this money going out from the federal government to communities. But is any of that money eligible to be used for this type of a project?
No, it all has to go to underground water and sewer or COVID. So it must go to that. Tim and I have had extensive conversations about using it to replace some of the water lines down Maple Street and evaluating a couple of these other streets where we frequently had water main breaks, such as Walnut Street. So no, it's got to be used for that, Jim.
Okay, so the proposal would be that this would come out of our general fund
Yeah,
in 2022.
It's a
yeah,
fun-
take it out of the capital budget is what you do.
Capital, okay.
And in some way, money's a little bit fungible, whether
Yeah.
we're putting money towards the fire station or the water, so.
Mhm.
Anyway, I will get a fleshed out sort of concept up to council so we can discuss it as a group and see, because I'd like to get council to start thinking about it so that we can let them know if there's something the village would want to sign on to. And also so that we can, I know they start building our budget in the fall. So now that we have a sense of where we're coming in tax.
Yeah, the
Income
problem is
tax
going
wise.
to be the overall contract cost stuff. Rob, you want to tell them about what Pepper Pike's experience was in what I would call a remodeling job, not an addition to the fire station. They were putting in private sleeping quarters, what their budget was and what the bids came in at.
Yeah, I don't know the exact dollar amounts off the top of my head, but they had an original cost forecast from contractors on which they based their budget on. I think it was in the 60 to 70,000 range. I believe actual pricing came in at over 100. Don't quote me on that, but it was considerably higher. And I know they were able to leverage their ability to get that to make the project go forward, but it was considerably higher, even in a very short amount of time from when the project was conceived and the budget was planned out to when bids actually came in. So looking at that, as well as the cost of construction materials that we're seeing right now in all areas, everything's really high right now. So even if we did have the money, I would still, at this point, recommend we hold off till the market stabilizes a bit and we can get a better value for our dollar.
Which underscores why we talk about an escrow account. So I'll get everything put up to council and we can move up back to more of the revenue analysis stuff. And I will get everything in writing to everybody. So
Thank you.
Thank you. Good question, Jim. I had the same kind of thought. Who, by the way, just out of curiosity, who runs that dialogue with the other communities about participation in this project? Is that Bill? Is that the mayor? Or is that?
Erin's been heading it up to date, and it's fine with me if she continues it. I think it's continuity. She may not be able to attend some meetings, and I would step in.
Okay.
And we probably should have some update with the individual in charge of the fundraiser for the fire department.
yeah, and we've been working, Dan and I have been talking with Chief Zugan and Assistant Chief Vetter, and we're working with Sugar Valley Fire because we wouldn't want to, we don't want to put them in a bad spot either. So
Right.
Right.
teamwork,
Okay.
it's teamwork. So general expenditure report, monthly expenditure report.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, we can do this one. Oh, we can do that one. Okay, general fund. There's not too much to add here. The numbers are good all the way through.
Pretty boring. Looks good.
Pretty boring, right? Exactly. Nothing out of line. The main thing to look at is the bottom of column 3 and compare it to the target percentage. Christy, can you scroll up like one notch
You mean down?
or down? There we go. You can see the target percentage is about 41.5 through 5 months, and we're at 39.1 right now. So we are below budget by about 2.5%, which is very good.
And
Yeah.
we're current on our legal bills, right?
We may actually be a month behind there, so that
Oh.
might,
I
that
was
might,
really excited.
no, don't get too excited. That might bump up a little bit for the month of June.
Okay, wow,
Yeah, I think I believe we only have 4 bills in this one, so.
And by behind, just for clarification, I
Oh,
just
yeah.
mean when they send the bill, when we receive it, when we cut the check versus when we run the report. Just
Right,
not
yeah.
that we are actually behind in
Exactly.
paying our bills.
Right, it's on a cash basis, so it's all
Didn't
by
mean to
date.
imply otherwise.
Correct.
Cool.
And the last report is the monthly statement, that one.
Sure, yeah.
Again, same thing here. The main thing to look at is the comparing the balance as of 5/31 versus 12/31 projected. And in every major fund, every case, we are ahead or about equal. Water fund, we're about equal to where we want to be.
Yeah,
And
I
in
like
every other
what
fund, we
you,
have a comfortable balance.
yeah, I like having those general fund revenues breaking out the income and property taxes down at the bottom.
Mhm.
I know it's not like the most exciting data or the most telling data. It's just interesting to see what that breakdown really does look
Right.
like.
Yeah.
Just a general idea.
Yeah.
Again, this is just through May, not through June. And there are no red flags on here that I could see at all. So everything's lined up real well at the moment.
It's great.
That's awesome. Cool.
Any questions on them? Or
I don't.
Pretty boring.
it is pretty boring.
Yeah, it's good.
Sorry about that.
And that was our backwards committee report,
There we
our
go.
backwards committee meeting. Okay, seeing as we don't have, there's no, any other questions, concerns?
Nope.
You know,
Order?
Aaron, I looked at the agenda. I talked to Christy about this, but I looked at the agenda, then went back in again for the meeting tonight, and there was a problem loading that page for me.
I noticed that as well.
Okay.
Sorry if that was the case. I did reload a second agenda. There were some corrections to be made, and I don't know what happened. But I will be happy to retroactively add and fix that link. So if anyone in the public wants to have access to the documents we've talked about tonight, they will be there tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no other hands raised, let's adjourn at 6:33, and I will see some of you later and some of you not.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
Aaron.
Thanks, Dave.